Using the percent equations. This is the main one. This is the first one you get. You get part over whole equals percent. So if you want to find the percent of something, let's say you got 19 out of 20 points on that homework. What you would do is you would take the 19 divided by the 20, the part divided by the whole. You would get 0.95, and then you change it to your percent. So that's the percent equation if you want to find percent. Now, if I need to know something else, like let's say I need to know part, what I would do is I would times both sides by a whole, because that gets rid of that, and I have part by myself. So here's the other equation you need to write down. Part is percent times the whole. If I know I got 90% out of 20 points, I take 0.9 times 20, I find that I got 18 of those points. Right? So that's my part. However, they won't always ask for part or percent, they'll ask for whole. So what I do is I divide by whole, or percent, sorry. Divide both sides by percent. And so there's my next equation. Whole is equal to part over percent. So out of one equation, part over whole is equal to percent. I now have three equations. This one, part equals percent times whole, and this one, whole equals part over percent. So if I need to know the whole, let's say you got 18 points and that was 90%. What I do is I take 18 divided by 0.9 and I find the whole. The most you could have gotten on that homework was 20. So you're going to use these three equations. So you need to have each one of these. Alright? So write this down. Alright, so the questions that you're going to see, this is one of them. There's going to be three different types of questions you're going to see. This says find 62% of 75. So what you got to do is identify what two parts did they give you and which one are you looking for. Obviously 62 would be the percent. You got to figure out, is 75 the part or 75 the whole? 75 is the whole. So what are we looking for? The part. Which we go back to this equation, which you need to write down. Part is percent times the whole. So I take 0.62. Remember, I cannot times by a percent. What I have to do is I have to change it to a decimal first, which all that means is moving the decimal two places. So I take 0.62 and I times it by 75. That gives me my part because this is the percent, this is the whole, so this is the part. 0.62 times 75 is 46.5. And that's my answer. It says find 60% of 96. That's definitely asking for the part. It knows you know the percent, you know the whole. We're wanting the part. So I take 0.6, I change the percent to a decimal, and I times it by 96. Take the part, or the percent times the whole, and that gives you your part, which 60% of 96 is 57.6. And that's your answer. 287 is what percent of 410? So it is obvious what it's asking for. It's asking for percent. So this is the formula you use. Part over whole gives you the percent. That's the one you use. Someone raise your hand and tell me which one's the part. Thank you for raising your hand. What is it? 287. It is 287. The part is 287. Someone raise your hand and tell me the whole. Gowdy. Thank you, Gowdy, for raising your hand. It is 410. So what I do is I take 287 divided by 410, and that tells me my percent. Well, actually what it does is it tells me my decimal, which I know how to change to a percent. Times it by 100, or move the decimal two places. My answer is 70%. So 287 is 70% of 410. Then 15 is what percent of 125. So I'm trying to figure out the percentage of 15 over 125 because my part is 15. Now in most cases the smaller number is part, but that is not always the case. So don't always assume it. Okay, this is the order they go, the part and then the whole. So 15 divided by 125, when you do that, you get this, 0.12. I need to change that to a percentage. So I times it by 100, moving the decimal 2 places. That is 12%. So now, if you read the question, it says 33 is 55% of what number? It is asking for the whole. So this is the formula you're using. You write it out. Whole is equal to the part over the percent. We found that based on the first one, where it's part over whole equals percent. We're trying to find the whole. So what we do is we take the part, 33, and we divide it by the percent, which I have to change the percent to a decimal, which is 0.55. Do not times or divide by percentage. You will get it wrong. You always change the percent to a decimal. Do not forget that. Someone's going to do that tomorrow. Don't do that. Change it to a decimal, and then you can divide or multiply. In this case, it would be divide. 33 divided by 0.55 gives you this, 60, which 60 is your whole. So you take part divided by percent to find the whole, if that's what it's asking for. So really all you have to do today is figure out what it's asking for. Part, whole, or percent. And then use the one that helps you. In this case, the whole. So I take 18 divided by 0.3. When I do that, I get this, 60. Alright, what I want you to do is write down this. Henry wants to buy a camera that costs $250. 6% sales tax added. What's the total cost? Henry wants to buy a camera that costs $250. If a 6% sales tax is added, what is the total cost? This is something you see when you go to the store. Let's say you go to Walmart and you're the person wanting to buy this camera. Do all you need is all you need $250? No, you have to figure out sales tax as well, because that's going to add to the total cost, right? Okay. I remember as a little kid, I went to the store for $1 pop and all I had was $1. I didn't have that 8 cents, right? That you have to add on. You don't think about it as a little kid. Now that you're getting older, you have to be able to figure out how much is it going to total cost. Because any county or city that you live in charges a sales tax. And that's added to what you're buying. There's 2 ways of figuring it. I'm going to show you both ways. You decide which one you want to use. I would write down both and then you decide, if I were you. The first way is to take $250 and times it by the sales tax. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to find the part. You're trying to find out what 6% of 250 is. We're trying to find the part. So we take our whole times our percent. 0.06 times 250. So you're taking your percent times your whole to get your part. 0.06 times 250 is 15. But is that how much it's going to cost you, $15? No, that's the sales tax. That's what's being added on. So to find the total cost, what you do is you take the part plus the whole, which the part is 15, the whole is 250. How much is it going to cost Henry to buy this camera? $265. So that's all you do. You find the sales tax. This is what the register and stuff, when you go through a store, that's what it does. It takes your sales tax, which here in this county is like 0.08. You take that times whatever your subtotal is, and then it adds that and makes that your total cost. Here's the other way.
Is there going to be very many like this?
Here's the other way. What you do is you have to think, what is the percentage of $250? Like if I was to say, what percentage of that is 250? What would that be?
250?
What percentage of 250 is 250? 100%, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Your sales tax is what percent? 6. So your total cost is going to be what percentage of the 250? 106%, right? your 100% for the camera plus your 6% for the sales tax. So all you have to do is take 1.06 and times it by 250. That also is going to give you your total cost. Do you know what 1.06 times 250 is? 265. It says George bought an iPod for $137.46, including tax. The iPod had a sticker price of $129.99. So he grabbed an iPod that said $129.99 on the sticker, and he paid $137.46. About what percent sales tax did he pay? So if he wants to figure out what percent sales tax he paid, okay, then he's got to do some calculations, right? Raise your hand. Tell me what you think. How you think you're going to find the percent sales tax?
137 divided by 129.
Okay, 137.46 divided by 129. Okay. I wouldn't do it that way. No.
Would you do it that way? Subtract them.
Okay. What I would do is subtract them first. Just like Jesse said. I would take 137.46, then subtract 129.99 from that. When you do that, you get 747. That's how much sales tax he paid, right? But we got to find out what percent sales tax. So make sure you're reading the whole question. This is not your answer. It says what percent. So what I do is I take my part, because this is my part, and I would divide it by my whole, which someone raise their hand. Tell me what you think the whole is. Kyle, what do you think the whole is?
The 137.46?
No.
Oh.
Okay, that's the sticker price plus the tax.
So
Right? I want to figure out 747 is percent of 129.99. So 747, I divide that by 129.99. When I do that, I get this. 0.057. Now that's a decimal. I have to change it to a percentage, so I move the decimal place 2 places. He paid 5.7% sales tax. Here's your homework assignment.